Welcome to You Son of a Witsy Age. This week,
Decent week.
we're embarking on a wizarding probe into two wild flash fiction stories, packed with magic and mystery.
Yeah.
You sent us these tales eager to understand the core of their fantastical narratives. So our mission is to unpack these worlds, highlight the most intriguing elements,
Yes.
and leave you with a deeper appreciation for the power of imaginative storytelling.
Yeah. What's fascinating here, as we consider these concise narratives that you shared, is how effectively they establish such vivid and compelling scenarios. Despite their brevity, it speaks to the power of focused imagination.
Absolutely. First, we'll delve into the Pyramid's Protector. This flash fiction story plunges us into the Egyptian sands. A guardian mage named Omar battles not only traditional tomb raiders, but also the forces of modern development threatening the ancient magic of the pyramids.
Wow.
What was your initial reaction to this one?
This flash fiction story immediately presents an intriguing conflict, doesn't it? This stark juxtaposition of ancient magic with very modern concerns like tourism and development.
Oh, yeah. Makes you wonder about the staying power of these old forces in our increasingly rationalized world. Does this clash resonate with you? Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We have Omar, our reluctant guardian. The story paints him as a bit sarcastic. Definitely not your stereotypical stoic protector. He's battling selfie sticks and bulldozer operators as much as actual threats to the pyramids. What do you make of this humorous approach to a guardian figure?
This use of humor, particularly in the face of the sacred, offers a compelling commentary on how we grapple with ancient traditions in a modern, often cynical world. It suggests that perhaps irreverence can be a surprisingly effective form of defense against those who don't understand or respect the past. What does Omar's sarcasm tell you about his connection to his duty?
That's a great point. And his magic, described as sand and illusion, is also interesting. It's not the flashy, over-the-top magic we sometimes see, but it's something more subtle, woven into the fabric of the environment itself. What strikes you about this understated form of magic?
What's fascinating here is how this subtle magic reflects a deeper connection to the land itself. Rather than being a purely external force, it suggests that true power might lie in understanding and working with the existing energies of a place. And if you think about it, this kind of magic might be far more resilient to modern intrusions than something more overtly powerful but less grounded.
Right. And we
Yeah.
see that contrast immediately with the developer, this almost cartoonishly enthusiastic figure of progress who's completely oblivious to the ancient energies around him. And then, of course, the sneezing incident.
Oh, yeah.
This moment where the spectral scarab amulet pops out. It's both funny and sets up another layer of trouble for Omar.
Right.
What did you make of this sudden escalation?
This moment serves as a sharp reminder that even in seemingly mundane situations, like a sneeze,
Yeah.
the ancient world can unexpectedly intrude upon the modern. It highlights the precarious balance between these two worlds and how easily that balance can be disrupted. What does the scarab represent in this clash?
Then comes the brilliant solution. The spectral camels, loaded with tourist tat. I mean, what a wonderfully absurd and effective way to scare everyone off. It's not about brute force. It's about understanding the psychology of the invaders, what they value and what they'll be terrified by.
Right.
What did this inventive solution suggest to you?
Exactly. It's a clever use of illusion, playing on the very things the developer is trying to bring. The commercialization of the ancient site, the image of these ghostly camels burdened with the very symbols of that commercialization is quite striking. It raises an important question about what we truly value and what we risk losing in the name of progress. Does this resonate with your own observations of the modern world?
And the story ends with Omar still exasperated, but having successfully defended the pyramids for another night.
Right.
The line about the ancients understanding the power of being a spectacular pain in the ass is just perfect. It encapsulates his approach entirely.
Right.
So, thinking about this flash fiction story, what key insight do you think it offers?
Perhaps one key takeaway from Omar's tale is that resilience and defense don't always require overwhelming power, but can often be found in wit, understanding the opponent's motivations, and creatively leveraging the environment itself.
Right.
It suggests that even the most ancient forces can adapt to modern challenges in unexpected ways.
Okay, so we've navigated the sands of Egypt. Now let's journey to the fog-laden streets of London in Sherlock Holmes and the arcane rituals. Another fascinating flash fiction story. Here, the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes confronts a series of crimes linked to ancient magical rituals, forcing him to apply his intellect in entirely new, uncanny ways. What intrigued you most about this premise?
This flash fiction story takes a beloved and very rational character, Someone whose methods are firmly rooted in logic and observation, as you know,
Of course.
and throws him into a decidedly irrational scenario. The inherent tension in that premise is immediately captivating. How does the world's greatest detective, a man of logic and deduction, cope with forces that defy those very principles? What are your initial thoughts on this collision of worlds?
The story opens with this oppressive fog, which isn't just weather. It's described as a veil, a thinning of reality itself. That's a powerful way to immediately signal that we're not in a normal Holmes tale.
Right.
What kind of atmosphere did this create for you?
Indeed. The sensory details, the muffled footsteps, the spectral movements, the strange odor create an atmosphere of unease and hint at something truly out of the ordinary. What's fascinating here is how the author uses the familiar setting of London, a city synonymous with rational thought and detailed observation, and then subtly twists it with these uncanny elements. How does this contrast heighten the sense of the bizarre?
And Holmes, initially trying to rationalize it with barometric pressure, quickly realizes that his usual methods are insufficient. The encounter with the skeletal fog hand where their cabbie was standing, that's the point where even Holmes must confront the impossible. His reaction, though, is very in character. He sees it as a puzzle, monstrous and strange, but with rules, patterns to be deciphered. What does this reaction tell you about the core of Holmes's character?
That's a key insight into Holmes's character. Even when faced with the seemingly inexplicable, his fundamental instinct is to seek out order and understanding. He doesn't dismiss it outright. He tries to find the underlying logic, even if that logic operates outside the realm of conventional science.
Yeah.
It raises a question: is there a kind of logic even to magic?
We then see him delving into crumbling libraries and forgotten societies, trading his magnifying glass for ancient grimoires. This is a wonderful image. Holmes, the ultimate observer of the tangible world, now immersed in the study of the arcane. What does this shift in his methodology suggest to you?
This highlights the adaptability of a truly brilliant mind. He's not limited by his past successes or his established methodologies. When confronted with new evidence, even if that evidence is supernatural, he's willing to learn and adapt his approach. This suggests that true intelligence lies not in adhering rigidly to what is known, but in embracing the unknown.
The climax in the British Museum, with the ancient sarcophagus as a conduit, is a fantastic set piece. And the way Holmes defeats the robed figures, not with physical force, but by invoking wards and using cobbled-together relics. It's a complete subversion of the traditional Holmesian confrontation. What did you find most striking about this resolution?
What's particularly interesting is the description of Holmes countering the magic not just with rote recitation, but with a counter melody woven into the relentless logic of his mind. It suggests that even magic might have its own form of underlying structure, a kind of language that a mind as sharp as Holmes's can perceive and manipulate. It makes you wonder, are logic and magic perhaps not as diametrically opposed as they seem?
And the aftermath is telling. Holmes is shaken not by physical exertion, but by the strain of wielding a new kind of logic.
Yeah.
It's as if the very foundations of his understanding of the world have been tested and stretched. What does this vulnerability reveal about even the most formidable intellect?
Exactly. The final line, "The game, it seems, is still afoot," takes on a whole new meaning in this context. It's no longer just about solving crimes within the known laws of the universe. It's about navigating a reality that is far more complex and mysterious than he ever imagined. This raises an important question. What happens when the seemingly immutable laws of the universe bend, and even the sharpest intellect must adapt?
It certainly makes you wonder about the limits of human reason, and what happens when we encounter things that lie beyond our current understanding.
Both these flash fiction stories you've explored with us today, though, set in vastly different locales and featuring contrasting protagonists, delve into the enduring power of the unseen and the unexpected ways individuals rise to protect it. They invite you to consider the magic that might still linger in the world, hidden beneath the surface of our everyday lives.
So thinking about these glimpses into worlds where ancient magic clashes with the modern age, that you sent our way, what resonated most with you? In The Pyramid's Protector, we saw how Omar, with his sarcastic wit and mastery of sand and illusion, stands as a bulwark against those who fail to respect the power held within the stones. The image of spectral camels loaded with tourist paraphernalia serves as a potent, humorous reminder of the clash between the sacred and the superficial. What aspects of this lone mage's exasperated dedication struck you?
Then, considering Sherlock Holmes and the arcane rituals, what were your thoughts on witnessing the world's most logical mind confronting forces beyond reason? The story cleverly subverts our expectations, showing Holmes not just observing clues, but invoking ancient wards, and grappling with a reality subtly warped by magic. It makes you wonder. When the seemingly immutable laws of the universe bend, what does it tell you about the nature of reality itself and the capacity for even the most rational minds to adapt?
We hope this wizarding probe into these tales has sparked your imagination. What other hidden corners of flash fiction hold such fascinating secrets? What other guardians might be out there using unconventional means to protect the extraordinary? Keep those questions in mind, and don't forget to share more of your intriguing finds with us here at You Son of a Wade TCH. We'll be waiting to conduct our next wizarding probe. And if you want more of this, dive into wild tales full of sons of witches and fantastic creatures, rate and follow You Son of a Witch